All right, Rashawn, how much money do you put in your 401k?
Actually, you know what, man? I don't contribute.
You don't contribute to your 401k. Okay, great. How much money do you save per month?
Honestly, man, I don't even give any. I don't. I live paycheck to paycheck.
You live paycheck to paycheck. Do you have kids?
I got 2 daughters.
Okay, you got 2 daughters. So you live paycheck to paycheck. How much money can you afford to put away for your 2 daughters?
I mean, I should probably be putting away about 250, 300
About 250,
a month.
Okay,
at
great.
least.
All right, now let me ask you another question. Are your daughters worth you putting that type of money away for?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. So knowing that we have to have a plan for them going down the road, when you want to get something started, or let me show you how that $250 or $300 could work to the benefit for them down the road.
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right, so let's go ahead and start and see. So if you had $300, what's your daughter's name?
Mo
Mo
and Mia.
Mo and Mia. Oh, that's good. You know what mines are? Mila and Maya.
Okay.
Right? Those are mine. So let's just say for the sake of that, we're doing this right here, and we're gonna put the 250 away for them. Okay?
All right.
So basically what we would do is that since you don't contribute to a plan already, then we don't really have to talk about gross or net, because you basically don't contribute to a plan. So without contributing to a plan, I don't have to basically go from a gross and net perspective, but let me show you how a gross and net perspective works, okay? If you did have a plan, the way that it would work is that your money would come out of your gross, it would be attached to the stock market, and that means that you would have a 401k, and basically when the market goes up, your money would go up. When the market goes down, your money would go down. Market goes up again, your money goes up. Market goes down, your money goes down. So basically your money will be attached to the stock market. And there's 2 rules that are associated with your plan if you're putting your money in a pre-tax account for your daughters. The first rule is the rule of 59.5, and then they have the rule of 70.5. So what they teach most people is that if they come out early, before they reach the age of 59.5, that they would be okay. But what they don't know is that they would pay federal taxes. They would pay state taxes. They would pay management fees, which are 3 to 4%, and they would pay the IRS a 10% penalty, which means that they would lose about 50% of all their money. Okay? So half their money would be gone. They would only be getting 50 cents on every dollar that they save. So actually your 250 would actually only be what? About 125 to your pocket. So most people who would see this would say, I'm not going to do that, I'm going to wait. All right? But at the age of 70.5, they figure that taxes now will be lower. So now they don't understand that if they pay federal taxes, they pay state taxes, but the IRS still charges a 10% penalty for keeping any pre-tax account past the age of 70. So once you hit the age of 70.5, you still owe them 10%, and then you got to pay a thing called required minimum distribution, which charges you 3 to 4% annually on your money. And that basically means that now your taxes go right back up. So if a person's not careful here, they'll lose 50 to 55% of all their money. Now we could agree to disagree that the retirement age used to be 65 because now they have everybody working longer. But most people used to want to retire between the ages of 60 and 70. And today taxes are about federal and state. What are taxes, Michelle? About 40%. Yeah. So anytime you have one of these plans, all you ever do is take losses no matter where you come out. If you come out early, you lose 50. You come out where they tell you to come out, you're about at 36 to 40. You come out later, you're at 50 to 55. So what if I could show you a way how to avoid coming out your gross and never paying federal and state taxes anymore, but there's no management fees on your money, so you're not under management. There's no IRS 10%, there's no RMD, and all of your money would be your money after you pay taxes, and you could grow it as big as you want. Would you want to see how that works?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. So let's take their money again for your 2 beautiful daughters, and then we would take the same money, and what we would do now is we would take it from a net perspective. Once we take it from a net perspective, that means that you've already paid what? Taxes, right? So you've already paid taxes on your money, so it comes out of your net, and we stick it inside of this product called the IUL. Now this product is attached to the indexing strategy. It's attached to a tax code called 7702A and been around since about 1912. Now, let's do a little education really fast. 401k is a tax code. 7702 is a tax code. So let's say this. How in the heck can there be one tax code that's making you pay all the taxes, and I'm going to demonstrate to you now how you don't have to pay them. Okay? If it's attached to the indexing strategy, that means that every time the market goes up, your money goes up. When the market goes down, your money locks. Market goes up again, your money goes up. Market goes down, your money locks, and so forth. So in an indexing strategy, the number one thing that you never lose is your money. Now, you're probably thinking right now, what is the catch to this? There is a catch. The catch is that you are locked at a cap rate of 15% on a monthly basis. So let me ask you a question, Michon, for your two daughters. Where else can you get 15% interest on your money for saving it for them?
Nowhere.
If you tell me where it's at, please call me tomorrow because I want to get on it too for my daughters as well. And if the market tanks, then basically you would still get a floor rate of 0.75%. But even with this plan, your money being locked in between 15% and 0.75%, let me show you how it actually works. Earlier when I was talking to you in our presentation, I talked about us being a global company. So
Before you keep going, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
What if the market did bad for 12 months straight? Like, what
Right.
if, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, that's what
Yeah.
I'm getting at the bank. What would that look like?
Yeah. So basically, the bank is going to give you 0.0001%. So you actually would get no money. And this plan, 0.75% times 12 months, you would get about 9% annually.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. And the nice thing about that is that that money is insured. So that floor rate is insured by the company that you're going to make sure you get that. Here, they're going to take your money, and later on, I'll show you where they stick their money at as well. So here's your money. We have 3 indices that we use: the Euro from Europe, the Hang Seng from China, and the S&P 500. Now, what they do is that they never stick your money into the market. What they use is a thing called a crediting strategy. So what that means is that your money is just mirroring the market up to 15%. So they take the sum of the indices up to 15% and they credit your money on a monthly basis. So let's do an example. Let's say the Euro and S&P did 15%, your money would get what? 15%. Let's say if they did 8%, you would get what? 8%. But if it did 40%, you would only get what? 15%. But if it did negative 40%, you would get what? 0.75%. So every month, Michon, for your daughters, you always what? You get. And these plans every month you get. And these plans every month you pay taxes if you have to come out. So the difference between a locked account that causes taxes and an indexing strategy means that you have some freedom. So let me tell you how this came about in 1912. In 1912, they passed a thing called ALERP. And what ALERP stands for is a life insurable retirement plan. What Congress passed in 1912 is that you can grow your money up to 15% monthly with a 0.75% floor rate as long as it's under the umbrella of life insurance. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. You're like, hey, well, life insurance used to be when people would die, people would do that, but actually that's why they called it life insurance, because you can actually use the money while you're alive. And so you can grow your money, get the interest rates, pull it out tax-free, utilize it for what you want. Whenever the market crashes, your money locks and you keep all your money. Now, there's some perks to this plan. The first perk is basically protection. Now, you had told me earlier that you run a security company, right? So you actually go out there and you secure people's homes, right? Wouldn't it make sense for you to secure your daughter's futures?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so you'd have actually protection for them from the market if the market ever crashes. You'd also have protection from taxes. Let me ask you another question. Do you like paying taxes?
Never.
Never, okay. So a lot of people don't understand the real definition of tax-free. It means that I've paid my taxes already, and now the growth of my money is free. What about an emergency fund? Everybody needs one of those, right? So an emergency fund means that you're not in a locked account with me. So that means that actually if you need some of your money, if properly structured, you can pull up to 80% and not even hurt yourself at all. But if an emergency came up, you're not locked in. But let's talk about retirement. Most people can't retire today because they don't have any growth on their money. So you could actually use this plan for retirement and take out distributions on a monthly basis. One catch though. You could pull money out of this account for retirement, but then the interest rates would go right back into it. So you now have a plan where you're pulling money out, interest is going back in, your money is actually being refueled as you utilize it, right? Or you could use it for college plans. Now they must go to college, or one thing that I like to tell people, hey, if you only save $100,000 or $200,000 for your kids, wouldn't it be nice to put it down on their first home? Or maybe basically pay for some estate planning for them or something like that so your legacy can move forward. And then last but not least, savings accounts are very important, but not at 0.001%. Savings accounts would be very, very good if you have 15% on them. So now that I kind of looked at this and kind of show you, let me show you this really fast. So that way you can really understand how this works for you. And then I'll ask you a couple questions at the end here. All I'm trying to teach you today, Mashawn, is that there are 3 things going on in the United States. 85% of everybody in our country right now puts their money where? In the bank.
Savings account.
Yeah, because they think that it's safe.
Right.
While the other 10% of everybody puts their money in these investments. And they go up and down with the stock market. But the top 5%, the wealthy in the country, where do you think they put their money? They put their money in insurance. Why do they put their money in insurance? Because it's tax-free. And all the growth of the money is tax-free as well. So who do you think puts the most money inside of these accounts? Most people would say the wealthy. However, Mashawn, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you're already my client. You see, the people who put the most money in these accounts are the banks. So if you have a Wells Fargo account, Wells Fargo already contributes about $17 billion to these accounts every year. And then B of A, they put about $19 billion. And then when you look at JP Morgan Chase, they put about $11 billion. And when you look at US Bank, they put about $7 billion. Or you look at a company like Bank of the West, they put in about $9 billion. So basically what happens is that where do you think the banks get this money from? They get it from you. So when you put your money in the bank gives us your money, and they capitalize on 15% interest rates on a monthly basis and a 0.75% floor, while you absolutely get nothing.
0.0001.
Yeah. So the question becomes, do you want to keep putting your money in the bank, or do you want to put your money where the bank puts their money? So by me showing you this, wouldn't you want to get one of these started to make sure that you secured your daughters, you secured your money, you protected your assets, but they also grew with interest rates for the rest of your life? Great. Now, I don't know if you qualify for one of these, right? Because you got to get qualified for one.